Cool. So we'll start off with demos. Scott, you want to start?
Yeah. All right. So in that case, let's see. So which pair would like to go first today?
First issue was with Cassie and mine. I can start.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. I will share the screen.
Okay. Oh, let me make sure it's working. Okay.
Can you see the screen?
No.
Sorry.
No.
Okay.
Oh, there it goes.
Okay.
Awesome.
We created the home component. Here we connected to the route for the slash route. And inside the home component, we have some JSX. The most important part here is the create new list button. It's activating the create token function. With the create token function, we created a new token for the new user. And we get the token from get token function inside the lib tokens file. Then we set the local storage with the token key. I use JSON.stringify because whenever I use local storage, I was always adding stringify to change the JavaScript object to the JSON string. That's why I thought, but Megan, I think, commented something that you use, I think, right?
Yeah, so if you use, because your token right now is just a string, if you do JSON.stringify, it's going to add in the quotes, the like quote characters to the beginning and the end.
Yeah.
So I think that if you look at main during office hours, we like made some adjustments and like merged everything together. So if you look at the main branch, the JSON stringify and the, what is it? The JSON.parse are not in there anymore.
Yeah, I checked. It's gone now. Yeah. Yeah. Then we added to the Firestore. We used async await for the Firestore, and we added under the tokens collection. And we used history to push to redirect the user to the list route after the user gets their token. And if the user has already their token, we are again redirecting the user to the list route. So this was our issue for this last week.
That's really cool. The code's super readable. I personally don't know any JS, and so I'm a little bit lost when it comes to this stuff, but I get exactly what you did. Nice use of async await. It all looks very good to me. Did you have an ability to sort of show us what this looks like in person, or I guess in a demo environment, or is it something we can handle? I'm sorry, I'm leading the demos, and yet I know the least about actual JavaScript of anybody here, probably.
Yeah. Something. Should I just
It's possible you might want to run this from the main branch.
Okay.
Would be my thought process, although I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if any of the changes we made when we merged the branches and stuff might have impacted.
Yeah.
That.
Could be an interesting learning opportunity, if so.
It was working, I checked actually. Did I change something?
Huh.
I think it says line 10 in the home component. There's uncaught syntax error.
Can you check your local storage in the browser? Oh, sorry, I think what's happening is you're using JSON parse on a string. So that might be the issue.
Should I?
Are you on the main branch right now? Because I
Yeah.
thought that we took that out. It looks like you might still be on your
We
like,
might need to
feature
pull.
branch.
Oh yeah, we're on the wrong branch. Maybe we should select it with VS codes. Oh, and there's local changes.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Yay for live demos.
Yay!
Yeah, okay.
If I had
Awesome.
a ticket for every time a live demo went wrong for me, I
I
swear.
know. It's every time.
That's the process. Cool.
If we delete the token, we are in the home page to create the token, create a new list, and it's creating a token for the.
Awesome.
Looks great to me.
That's it for our issue.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Well, thanks so
Nice
much
job.
for sharing.
Thank
I
you.
have a quick question. It's not related to this, but I noticed in your IDE you have a lot of like errors, but they're not really errors. It's like just red squiggly lines. Is that like related to like linting or something?
And yeah, like unknown word. It says for pronunciation or like linguistics or like
It's a spell checker.
Was it spell check?
That's
The tyranny of the linter.
I don't know this one. Yeah, sometimes it's giving me some errors like this.
It's
That's
probably a VS code setting somehow. I don't know that one specifically, but it might be a good thing to investigate at some point, is just like turning off the C spell component to JS linting.
How can I deactivate that one?
I think that's, oh gosh.
Is it an extension or?
Yeah, I have a lot of extensions.
Yeah.
You can look at it after the call. Maybe I can.
Well, you know
find
what? I
some-
saw the there's C spell language. If you like command F
Line
for C spell in
36.
here. Yeah.
Oh, line 36. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a couple other C spell items down there. I mean, I bet if you were to grep for C spell, you could probably turn off the spelling stuff.
Okay. Will I just remove?
I probably wouldn't get rid of that without. I think there's one to like turn on and off C spell. I'm not sure exactly where it is. I think it's down further. I thought I saw something. Oh gosh. C spell enable file types. I might just remove JavaScript from that array at the very bottom in like line 70. 71. Yeah. That might help. I don't know. Worth a try.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay. A good object lesson, like it's useful to have your linter only telling you when there are actual problems. And that's the sort of thing where like, I'm as guilty as anybody of having the linter just do things to me. Anywho, so let's see. Next was Sandy and Isa. If one of you might like to share the screen and show us your issue from last week. Love to see what you've done. But thank you very much, Julio. That was a valiant, just one person representation of two people's work. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Sandy, if you want, I can share my screen and we can talk about different aspects of it. Share screen. Okay. Let me get ours. And we are in our, so should I go for the main branch? I guess we are in the main branch. Okay. Components. add item. Make this bigger. Okay, and can I show you what we had in our branch before we go to main?
For sure.
Okay. If I can spell right.
All good. That happens to me only when I'm demoing, honestly.
Yeah. Extra pressure.
Spell.
Okay. Just because we wanted to show you this part, which we ended up taking away. Cool. So our responsibility basically was to give the user a form so that they can add an item and like when their next purchase, not date, but like how soon they're going to purchase it next would be. And then when they submit the form, it'll add that to the Firebase.
Cool.
So yeah. So we created our form here. We have the input for the text, which they'll use to type the item. And then we have a field set, which we took from, we looked at the wireframe, and then we kind of looked at a field set example on Mozilla Docs. So we have the field set, the legend, which is kind of like the label, and then the different radio inputs for soon, kind of soon, and not soon, and then a button to submit the form. And we created a item state value, a frequency state value that represents how soon they're going to buy it next. And a last purchase date, which for now is just a null value. And those state values we tied to the inputs. So we have the name and value, kind of reaching back to the state values there. And for those inputs, we have a handle change function. And for a handle click, this is our kind of submit function.
Cool.
For testing purposes, we created a use effect function just so that we can get a token. And we also did the JSON stringify and JSON parse, which we changed later on whenever we did the merge. But this is just so that we could have a token, because our form wouldn't submit, or it wouldn't render anything after we submitted, because we didn't have a token that would also tie back to the user when they submitted the item. Anyway, yeah, I don't know, Sandy, do you have anything you want to share about this? Or
also, we added the alert. So when we are able to submit once we submit the item, it will send an alert and then it will render on the list. I'm sorry, there's noise in the background, but yeah.
it's okay.
No worries.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on. That's a great call out, and that's nice UX to having an alert to indicate to people that they were successful at their thing. The thing I wanted to call out about that presentation that was really good for a demo is I really appreciate when people give me some context at the beginning about exactly like what was happening again, especially if it's been a moment since I looked at whatever issue was in question. So I really appreciated that. Nice work. Is there a demo you have for us?
Yeah. I'm gonna go back to the main branch and it should be up to date. So I'll just do npm start at the bottom here.
While that's getting started, Issa, do you want to talk about, or I guess after this, do you want to talk about like what you and Kelsey did during office hours and sort of like what you learned from that experience?
Yeah. Yeah, so that was really helpful. so when we merged our branches, right, and we didn't have any conflicts between our branches. The only conflict that we had was, I think we had made a change in Kelsey's and Julia's branch before we merged theirs, and then we merged Sandy's and my branch into main after that. And so the changes that was reflected on the newer branch weren't reflected on our branch, mainly being the JSON.parse and JSON.stringify. So that was the only like conflict I remember as far as code goes. After we merged the branch, we wanted to make some changes, which I'll show here. Let me see if I can. I wish this Zoom thing here at the top wasn't there. So I can make this screen larger. Anyway, so if we go to add an item, you can type the item here. And the frequency, and you add it, and it shows you an alert. For now, this is what it is. Successfully added the item to your list. Press OK, and then it takes you to the list page. The order for the list doesn't really make sense. Like if you add a new item, it's not going to be at the bottom or the top. It's going to be somewhere in the middle for some reason. But the changes that we made after we merged the branch were mainly making these inputs required. So if I try to add an item and I haven't filled this out, I'll have to type something. And if I try to add it now, it's going to ask me to select one of these, which we can change later if we want to. But the issue we ran into was we figured that these changes would be, they're fairly small changes as far as code goes. And so we did it on the main branch. And I think somehow when we were making the changes, we didn't like pull down the current main branch or something, so that when we made the changes and committed them, it reverted the main branch back to like an older version or something. And so we had to then, kind of redo some of the changes that we had already done, like the stringify and parse. We had to take that away again. But yeah, so this is kind of what Sandy and I worked on. You add the item, it does that. And it works well. If I take the token away, it integrates well with Kelsey's and Julia's branch. Create new list, gets us a token, and it brings us to this page. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you to both groups for the great demos. Really appreciate your work on those. And I think you both did very well with giving me context on exactly what it was you were doing. And so, yeah, appreciate that from everybody involved. Do we have a presentation today? I'm a little bit off kilter on that.
No, today there's no presentation. We're doing something different today.
Cool.
So today we're going to do our first retrospective. So I'm going to send a link in the Zoom chat, but this is on our GitHub as a project. I'll share my screen too, actually. Okay. So the retrospective, we're going to be starting off alternating now. So this week's a retrospective, next week will be a learning module, and then so on and so forth. So retrospective will basically be a board on GitHub where each of us, we can add cards to each of the columns. The first column is appreciations. So if you want to call out someone in particular who you appreciate the work they've done over the past couple of weeks, you can put it there. The what went well column is for how activities or things that have gone well throughout the past 2 weeks, less specific to people, but to the team in general. What could be improved is like suggestions for how we can make this better for the coming weeks, or things you think could just be better. And action items are like things we can do specifically over the next coming weeks. So what I'll do is I'll give about 5 minutes, and we can just take our time in filling out this board, and then after that we can go through each one.
So do we just, okay, gotcha. So, okay.
Does anyone need any more time?
I'm still typing stuff, but you can go ahead. I'm kind of slow.
Okay.
I'll like type something like, maybe I should say it differently. So,
I can do like 1 or 2 minutes. It's fine.
okay.
All right. Is everyone all set? Cool. So we'll start with appreciations, and each of us can go through our cards. So we can start at the top with Isa. Oh, wait,
Okay.
Sandy's first.
Can you hear me? Am I unmuted?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're good. Have Sandy go first, and then we'll do
Okay.
yours.
Okay, yeah. First, I'd like to give a shout out to Isa because we were working together, and it was his. I think he mentioned that it was one of his first field for programming sessions. So I really like that he was such an amazing partner, and we were able to move between tasks, like pair programs between driver and navigator very smoothly. So I really love that, and it was super fun. So I had a great time working with it. I also had a great time
Awesome.
working with Julia as well. Oh, do I go with just one or? Oh,
You can do that one too.
sorry.
Good.
Yeah, I also appreciate Julia as well. I also pair program with her, and it was really fun, especially because she came really prepared. She already researched Firebase and had like a bunch of Notion notes as well prior to meeting, so it made the pair programming session super smooth and easy. So
Awesome.
thank you, Julia.
All right, Isa.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to say thank you to our mentors, Megan, Lewis, and Scott, and also Andrew and Stacy. But yeah, thank you for sharing your experience and wisdom with us. I think it's definitely a unique opportunity as early career developers, developers trying to find our first job, to be able to work with you all and learn from your experience. So thanks for taking the time to do all this for us.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And then for me, it sounds like you all had a super productive office hour this week, which is awesome. So thank you, Megan, for running that. This is Scott, right?
Yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, I really appreciate that. I in my duties as person who reminds us all that we have a meeting, I messed up and I told Megan that we were going to be doing a learning module, and it turns out that today was would have been hers if we were doing learning modules. And so I think I I messed up a little bit there, but she handled that with a lot of grace and helped me figure out that that was not in fact going on, and we got that taken care of, hopefully before too much misinformation happened.
Okay. Awesome. Isa?
Yeah. Just want to thank Sandy, Kelsey, and Julia for, yeah, I'm just grateful to be able to work with you all. I feel like I am gaining a lot from your experiences and being able to work out problems with you. And I mean, I think normally I would be nervous going into a project like this, but it's nice to be able to work with people who are so kind and respectful. So thank you all for all that.
Thanks. And Julia?
I also want to thank to Lois, you, Scott, Megan, and fellow Collabis for their feedback on code reviews and all the learning modules about Git, how to work in pair programming. All those are helping me to be more productive. And I also agree with Isa. I would be so nervous normally to start a project by myself, but pair programming is really helping and I never done before. So this is very unique experience for me too. And I thank you to Collab as an organization. Yeah.
Thank you. And Scott?
Yes, I just also wanted to call out, everybody's been super flexible about the meeting time this weekend. Thanks to all the collabbies and all the other mentors for that. I was really glad we were able to be agile about flipping that around.
Cool. Then for me, I appreciate, I think it was mentioned before, all the collabbies are looking ahead and planning their work and related to things that might be coming up in the future. So that's awesome, super prepared. Megan?
Yeah, I wanted to give you a shout out for keeping all of the mentors organized and like being the lead mentor. I feel like everything has been running really smoothly. And so I appreciate you for that.
Oh, thank you. Sandy?
Sorry, what did you say?
Oh, your card here.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I also like to give a shout out to all the collaborators and also all the mentors and instructors as well. Thank you all so much for making this a really fun program so far for me.
Awesome. And Megan again.
Oh yeah. So Kelsey and Isa came to office hours this week and we're doing a bunch of like merging of branches and dealing with weird Git things. And the two of you just showed a lot of resilience and perseverance. And yeah, I felt like Git problems can be really scary sometimes and feel overwhelming, but you did a great job of just like keeping your cool and sticking with it. And you did a great job.
Cool. Then one last one is for Scott. I appreciate your learning modules. They were awesome, super detailed, and really helpful. So thank you. So what went well? Julie, do you want to go first?
Okay. Project is going very well. I mean, with the pair programming, it's really helpful to do the code together with another person. Like I said before, pair programming is better than I thought. Yeah.
Megan?
Yeah, I wanted to say thank you to, I guess, Isa and Kelsey, but I assume that all of you have been bringing questions to the last week's office hours as well. It's really helpful when you all show up with things that you want to talk about so that we can make sure that those sessions are as useful as they can be.
Awesome. Then for me, you guys are, the team is making this project look so easy. You're all finishing it within a few days. It's awesome. Time management is great. So just wanted to call that out. You're all doing great with all the project and handling all the issues. So nice job. What could be improved? I just put a note. You're definitely more than welcome to ask questions outside of office hours. Feel free to message on Slack. It doesn't even have to be about the project, like anything. You can just send a message, ask questions related or not to what we're doing. So more than welcome to help out. Isa?
Yeah, I guess I feel I was going off of Megan's comment. I think it would be cool, maybe this is just something we can do with our like issue partners or something, but just planning ahead beforehand. Who wants to share what, so that we can make sure that everyone has equal speaking time? And sorry if I talk too much.
You don't talk too much. Megan?
Yeah, so mine is more about like balancing the amount of talking time from the mentors with talking time from the collabs. At least the first couple of weekly syncs, I know that there was a lot of like us giving information to you all, so that you could like get started on the projects. And now that we're doing things like this retro and more weekly demos, I think that it's starting to shift the balance a little bit more in the right direction. But yeah, mostly just want to make sure that we're all kind of keeping our eyes on if these meetings not just being about mentors giving you information, but also you sharing with each other of like what stuff that you've learned and what questions that you have, things like that.
That's a great point. All right, so for action items, we didn't put any, and that's okay. But does anyone have anything else they want to add that wasn't placed on here? All right, that's our first retro. Nice job. So then next is, last piece is just the issues. So I think Megan will be going through those.
Let me share my screen. Make sure it's the right screen. Okay, can you all see this?
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so we are in week 3 now, right? So our last, like, I guess, combination of pairs, I think. So our pairs this week are going to be Isa and Julia and Sandy and Kelsey. So keep that in mind for a moment from now. And then the next 2 issues, I guess, let me drag them to in progress. It's going to be number 5 and number 6. So issue number 5 is all about sharing shopping lists with other people. So now that you've got, from this past week, you've got a token that you can use to associate a list, to basically like sign into a particular list. Now you want to give people the ability to use that token to join an existing list. So that's the first ticket. I guess I won't read all of these things to you because you can find them. And then the second list, or the second issue, is about entering duplicate items. So for a given list, if you are trying to add an item that's got the same name as an existing item, then don't let them do that. Then you'll show them an error message, so that they won't end up having duplicated items in their list. So there's some stuff here about like the rules for how to do that. And like if it's capitalization differences, that should still count as the same item. So yeah, those are our two issues. Does anyone have a preference on which one they want to work on? That's your chance to call dibs.
I mean, I think it would be cool to work on trying to join an existing shopping list.
Cool.
For sure that.
All right, so I will add you. Let's see. Can I add you from here? Can I even? Okay, so Isa and who's your pair? I already forgot.
Cool, yeah.
Okay. Lisa and Julia. Okay, and that means that this one will be Sandy and Kelsey. Sweet. Any questions about any of these things? Awesome. Oh, Julia, were you going to say something?
Can I ask something?
Yeah, go for it.
It says here like we need to save the token to the local storage. Again, do we need to save it to the Firestore too in the issue? Actually, it's already saved, right? We already saved before.
Yeah, so I think it'll already be saved.
Yeah. So that's maybe I should have clarified on that. But for Sandy and I, when we did it, we send the item, you know, how soon they're going to buy the item next. And also we send the token as well. And we just send that as like an object to Firebase. That's how it is right now. And we can change it if we want to, but I don't know if that's, yeah.
There are some notes under about Firestore.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be good. And that might be a little bit different than how we set ours up, but that would be fun to navigate, I guess.
Yeah, and it seems like this, because right now I think that when you like create a new list, it's still just showing you all of the items in the database. So I think that this seems like it would handle like only showing you the items for the list that you're currently signed into. So this one might be a bit bigger than the other story, but I believe in you. You can do it.
Yeah.
There is a way to filter in Firestore, so you can like filter by token. That's one way to do
Oh,
it.
nice.
Or like another way people do it is we have a currently an items table or items collection. Sometimes people have a tokens collection. Inside that they'll have an items collection, like a sub collection, as like another option. But you can play around with it and see which one works. Since you already have an items one, it's probably the filter will be the easiest thing to do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions about these? All right. Go get them.
Cool.
All right, yeah, thanks everyone again for being flexible this weekend. If you have any questions, yeah, feel free to message us on Slack. We're always available. And we'll be in touch on Slack.
Yep. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah,
Have a good
enjoy
week,
the rest
y'all.
of your weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.